Okay. Yeah, it is still blurry. All right, hopefully it'll get better. We got rainy weather here, so that's the only thing I can assume is the issue. It looks horrible though. I wonder if I change rooms. So how is everybody this Friday? Still I rise. Hello. Oh, it's not coming up on my TV. Okay. Well, we'll deal with it for the time being. Yeah, no. So, everybody had a good day? I hope so. It was a beautiful day here. Nice and not hot, like in the 70s. So, yeah. So what are y'all up to this Friday night? I am drinking Alka-Seltzer because I had 2 doctor's appointments today. I had to go get my mammogram and I had to go get a CAT scan on my stomach. That's the first time I had to have that done. And they gave me this white stuff to drink. Oh my God, it made my stomach hurt so bad, it tore my stomach up. It messed up my whole day because I had to come back home because it was not cooperating with me. And they should tell you that. If they're going to give you that stuff to drink, they should tell you that it could possibly tear up your stomach. Hi, Divine Love. It is rather early. Well, depending on where you're at. It's 8:41 on the East Coast. So yeah, every time I tried to eat, I had stopped at Panera. I don't know, however you say it. And got a bagel, and that came straight out. So I just had some rice. We're seeing. So if I jump up real quick, it means I'm having to go to the bathroom because the rice ain't staying. Thank you, Still I Rise. I wasn't sure with my stomach acting up, and I was like, well, you're not doing anything. There's really not a whole lot on YouTube tonight. There was a couple of movies that came out, but I had to be in the mood to watch certain movies. I'll finish watching Bridgerton, and then I was like, I'm just going to go live and see what everybody else is doing. So, hi, Janelle. Yeah, I do too. I don't know what's up with my stomach. So, I find though when I don't eat a whole lot of meat, everything works out well. So, I've been cutting back on eating meat because it just seems my stomach doesn't want to work with the meat. I guess all those years of processing meat. When you think about it, our intestines have been working ever since we came into this world. We rarely give them a break, except for when we're sleeping. Or fasting. It's actually good to fast at least, a few days a month. Stop. You gonna come say hi? Say hello to the Parker Posse. Say hello. Okay. Here, right here. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. Say hello. Hello. All right. Yeah, I've been just doing. You're gonna hurt yourself. I've been doing like veggies, salads, soups, anything kind of light, fruit. So it seems like I got a good review about the new intro. I only have one person say they didn't care for it. They thought it was too long, but it's only a minute and 1 second. And let me say, I did not do the intro. My wonderful and talented nephew he did the intro for me. I told him what I wanted, and that's what he came up with. I think it's beautiful. Hi, Deborah. So now I just got to figure out how to connect it to the videos. So he's supposed to send me something today. I'm going to have to hit him up about how to do it. He only knows how to do it on StreamYard, so I might have to go to trying out StreamYard so that I can try to learn how to edit stuff. Hi, Life with Polly. How are you doing? Hi, Annabelle. Me and Parker say hello. So yeah, I liked it. I thought it was really, really cute. I'm sorry that one person didn't care for it, but I'm going to have that intro. And hopefully, it won't be on all the videos because I'm paying my nephew to do the work for me because he deserves it. Oh, Annabelle sleeping? It's up on the channel, Divine. That's what I thought, Deborah. I thought he did a great job. Hi, Willow Rowe. Matter of fact, he's been editing for some other YouTubers, and I don't know who it was, but somebody seen the videos that he did, and so they contacted that YouTuber, and so they're working together where they submitted a video to the Oscars. So my nephew might have his work in the Oscars. Oh, everybody, let's say happy birthday to Polly. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Polly. Happy birthday to you. Woo! 50 is a big one. Thank you. Majority rules. Hi, Catherine. I heard you won some money over there on Arab's page. Knowing all the songs. Janelle is Pauly, P-A-U-L-Y. Okay, I'm not the best singer, so you get what you get. Maybe I have to find a birthday song that they won't ding me on that I can play. Oscar's tour send. Who is that, Pauly? I don't know who that is. Okay, so let's see. I had a topic earlier. What was going to be my topic? I'm not going. I'm gonna say this one thing. I had something I wanted to say. I should write stuff down. I really should. Hi, Valerie. It's my nephew. He has a channel, and let's see. Actually, he does movie reviews, which he does a really great job. He's had a channel for a while, and he just changed the name of it though. So let me see. Hold on, guys. Parker, don't start. Don't start. Every time I do a live, you want to cut the food. Parker, stop. Oh, you barking at me? Yeah. I know I'm missing y'all comments. Let's see. Yeah, if you scroll up, you're gonna get all kind of different lives that yeah, it's interesting. And they be the craziest lives. I didn't even know people like that was on YouTube. It was very interesting. Okay. So my nephew's channel is the Pick a Flick podcast. Pick a Flick podcast. Let's see. Here we go. The one that says the Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat. Flicky Quickie Corner. That is his podcast. He used to do it all the time. Then he started collaborating with other people. But yeah, like I haven't watched that movie, The Supremes at Earl's. So I was glad he did a review of it. If you hadn't watched it and you want to watch it, then you may not want to watch the review. He didn't really tell too much though. But it gave me an idea of what the movie was going to be about. So I appreciate that. We are big movie buffs in our family. Oh, did you? Well, you know, it's funny because Valerie, I did say hello, hopefully. There are some channels that do pretty good because he's been doing podcasts with a guy out of England, and there's some other one that they're doing pretty good. I guess it depends on where you're at. People get to know you and pick you up. Because there's a girl that I was watching that did reviews, and she was pretty good. So Pick and Flick podcast. Just Pick and Flick podcast. No it in it. Changeling? Divine, is that scary? What is it about? I don't do scary movies at all. I do like different movies, you know, stuff that's I do like kind of sci-fi, like the movie Dune or something along those lines where it's kind of futuristic. Okay, thanks, Polly. But yeah, I pretty much check the movie out, see if I like it, because I'm always looking for movies to watch, because when I work, I have the TV on. I can't always fully watch the whole movie, but I can listen to it and get a gist of what's going on. More sci-fi? What is that on? Netflix, Prime, Hulu, YouTube, Apple, of course, another streaming. I think I got so many. Matter of fact, I need to go into my Amazon and see which ones I want to cut off, because I'll be doing the free 7-day. just to see if it's something I want to try. Usually I'll just do the 7-day to watch what I want to watch and then cancel. Ooh, Polly, I could not be sleeping out there where you're at and watching a scary movie. No, because y'all got a lot of trees around you. Oh, it's a show. Okay. It's a show. I had a topic that I wanted to talk about and I cannot remember. I did hit on the thing in Georgia, but I'm not sure if people are mature enough to handle a conversation like that, because somebody inevitably would get mad. And I would like to think, because from my demographics, most of us are older, 50 and above, or somewhere in there, 45 to 65. And you would think that you could have a conversation and agree to disagree, but people get so hotted and upset and all that, I don't understand. We all have our opinions. We're all not going to agree with each other. See, nah, Polly, I could not be out there. No, sir. No, sir. Yeah, and my thing was, why can't we do something about our gun laws here? Don't tell me that we can't. If Japan can do something about theirs, and you don't ever hear about mass shootings like that in Japan, do you? But they don't. Now, let me say this. I'm sure there's somebody on the black market that probably got it. But for the most part, you cannot get a semi-automatic like we do here, like that AR-15. And people had something to say, but my thing is this. I'm prior military, and that weapon is the same as an M16. We didn't use the M16 to go hunt. We wasn't hunting rabbits. They didn't send us out there to hunt no deers. What was my job? My job was that if we had to go in a conflict, I had an enemy, just like they had an enemy in us. My job was to eliminate the enemy, okay? And so, I don't see why we need to have those. I'm not saying don't have guns. That's not what I'm saying. There's just certain ones that I think that should be banned. That's all I'm saying. There's a whole laundry list of other ones you can have. Hi, DDK. And people are like, well, it's not the gun, it's the this. Okay. Oh, I don't have nothing in here. But let's say this was a bottle of tequila. Okay? No, it's not the bottle of tequila. But once I ingest it, then that's where it could possibly be an issue. Same with the gun. No, the gun just sitting there is not an issue. But it's the people behind it. And since we can't get a handle on our mental health and what's going on with our youth and all this, then we need to do something else. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I do too. My granddaughter, she's in middle school this year. This was my concern. What type of parenting are we doing nowadays? And I just say we because my son is grown. I don't parent him. But how is it that these young people are in homes with their family members and nobody knows what they're doing? They're preteens and they're teenagers and the parents are like clueless of what's going on with their child. I don't understand that. And then, the father, he had gotten in trouble a year before, but he moved schools and moved districts. So the people this year did not know what had happened before. And when they interviewed the father, he said, oh, my son doesn't have access to any of my guns because they're locked up. Well, I saw today where they got daddy sitting up there and daddy getting ready to get some time too. And that's all. You know what? Maybe since these people don't want to parent and they don't want to be involved in their child's life enough to know if they're unhappy, if they're sad, if they don't have no friends, if they're frustrated, if they're feeling like an outcast. Since you hadn't taken the time to find out what's going on with your preteen and your teenager, then when something happens, then you get the foot part of the responsibility. And these states ain't playing no more. They putting the parents and the child in jail. My sister, my nephew that I said that did my intro, he was homeschooled because when he got to middle school, it was so much crap and people were bullying him, and my sister just pulled him out because the school was not trying to do anything as much as she went up there, and talked to them and all that. She just said, you know what, forget it. So he was homeschooled from, I want to say, 7th grade on. And that was the craziest thing, because when we had, I guess we could say, can we say the COVID word now? Okay, well, when the big C, when we had that going on, I had so many friends that was on Facebook talking about they were about to lose their mind because they were home with their spouse and their children. We work and do so many, between us working, the children's activities and stuff, the family don't spend any time together. So when they were forced to spend time together, they got on each other's nerves. There's a lot of divorces behind the big C too. I mean, how do you marry a person and you don't want to spend time with them, or you make these children together and you don't want to spend time with them? Oh, Dee Dee, you so sweet. So my thing is, please, if any of you still have children that are in, middle school, high school, spend some time with them. Even if it's just an hour on the weekend. Say, hey, let's go grab a burger, or let's go for a walk. Or is there, if there's something that they want to do and you're taking them to it. I used to conversate with my son in the morning when I took him to school. We talked about maybe something dealing with school, and we always prayed. We would rotate praying. And on the days he was mad at me, I still made him pray. And the last thing I used to always say to him was that no matter what happens between us, whether you get out this car irritated or frustrated by something I said, I want you to know this: I love you. Because I didn't want us to separate if something happened to one of us, and the last thing, the other person remembers that we got into a disagreement. And so, yeah, put the phones up. And so, and I spent time with him. I was abreast. Of course, I didn't know everything, but I was abreast to know that whether my son had friends, whether he was having a bad day. Even now when he gets off work, I can tell him, like, okay, what's going on? Sometimes he share with me, sometimes he don't. I can be here at my house working, and I'll get a feeling that something ain't right, and I have to call him. Or I'll get a feeling about my grandchildren, and I'll be like, I need you to check on this. Or I'll call their mother or whatever. It wasn't. You know what, Dee Dee? You are so right. I tell my son now, because he went through this whole phase of he's not going to church and he don't know if he really believe in God. You know what? And I heard it and I didn't hear it, because I know his foundation is in God, and he was raised up in the church. So I'm like, you know what? You were taught. I told him, I was like, let me tell you something. When these days get hard, I can't go over there and tell your boss off. I can't solve all these issues. You better get on your knees and go to who you know who can. Yeah, my son is 30. He turns 31 in 2 months. I'm telling you, this world is crazy. It is, I was watching, I like Law and Crime. Does anybody else watch that YouTube channel, Law and Crime? I'm a big crime type person. Oh, thank you, Divine. Thank you. And still I rise. That's why I try to come on. I'm not always consistent. And I do apologize about Thursday. I woke up in a funk, and that deals with my seasonal depression. And so I can wake up and not be in the best mindsets. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to come on. Let me get my headspace together. Let me pray today and get me right. Hi, Scorpio Mama. You do good, channel? And so, Law and Crime, it came up on my feed yesterday, and it was about the trial judge, something about the trial judge attack or something like that. But this guy literally attacked the judge. He was off the chain. He ran across the courtroom, and you know the judge always sits up. He jumped. When he jumped over the bench and landed on the judge and was just beating her because she was sending him back. She was rescinding his probation because he had gotten in trouble, and she was sending him back to prison. Now, mind you, he had about 17 DVs and all these other, I mean, he had a laundry list of stuff that he was doing. And he was saying that he had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar. But my thing is, sir, you take your medication. And he tried to tell the judge he was in a better place. And I'm like, oh, that was a better place? It took 4 people. When he jumped on the judge, it was a good thing that her clerk was a male. So the law clerk, he jumps over trying to pull him off, and he couldn't because this guy had lost his mind. It took 3 other men to come and pull him off, and one of the sheriff deputies, he cut him across his forehead here. She said the skin was pulled back. It was the craziest thing I ever did see. And yeah, well, they're now having a trial about that incident, but he can guarantee you beat up a judge, you're gonna spend the rest of your life in jail, sir. Yep, that's where you're gonna be. So there are a few cases that's coming up, like I can't wait till Sarah Boone case comes up, her trial, because she crazy too. I'm like, who put, okay, can y'all help me with this? Because y'all know I'll get on here and drink and have some wine and stuff, and some of y'all may be drinking while I'm drinking. Have you ever drank enough that you're sitting around with other people and you say, hey, let's see who can fit in a suitcase? I don't know. Ain't never happened for me. I ain't never been drinking, and I thought, hey, let's see who can fit in a suitcase. You think he rehearsed that, Divine? I don't know. But he surely cleared that whole bench. Do I think too much is being shown on TV? Hi, Sandy. I could say yes and no. I'm an information person, so I like the idea that I can go and get information from the internet, from TV, from YouTube, or wherever. I think that we don't always know how to process what we see. Hi, Chris. And Sandy, don't be cutting up tonight. I would probably say no because I'm an information person. So I think that we can monitor with our children when they're young. We can monitor what they watch and what comes in them to a point. But I wouldn't want my young adult child or preteen or teenage child to be out there in the world and not know what's going on. I think we need to know. Was this still I rise? Somebody just wanted to know that they show too much on TV. Do we think that they show too much? Now, there are some things that I think they show too much of. And I remember, and I don't know if anybody else do, when I was growing up, when they did a bra commercial, do you know the woman had on a turtleneck and she had the bra over the turtleneck, or they had a mannequin and they had the bra on the mannequin. Yeah, Dee Dee, that's why as a parent you should monitor what your children watch. Because when I didn't have cable in my house, I didn't get cable till my son was in middle school. The only thing he could watch was at that time it wasn't DVDs, VHS tapes that I bought for him. And so they were all Disney. They were all, child appropriate tapes. So he had regular TV and that. Even when he got in middle school, there were certain things that, he couldn't watch. Like, I thought that the Cartoon Channel was a good channel. Till one night about 10 o'clock, it was on the weekend, I'm walking past my son's bedroom and I'm like, what is that? And it was a cartoon about death. It was something, the grim something. I was just like, no sir. Because I didn't know that like at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, the Cartoon Channel turned to adult cartoons. And I'm just like, now, parents with, preteens and teenagers are not thinking that the Cartoon Channel turns to adult cartoons. Yeah. You have to be a parent. We can't expect the schools to do it. People send their children to school and expect the teachers to raise their child. That's not their job. Their job is to teach them. Your job is to raise them. So if you're not going to put the time in, now that's where we need to have a law and a license. Maybe you should have to get a license to be able to have a child. Because you can put things in place. I did. And I was a single parent. I was a single parent till my son was about 6. So, and then even then I was still a single parent with a husband. So, you just have to parent. And my son will tell you, he thought that I was strict sometimes because I banned certain music. He couldn't listen to it in the home. It was just certain things because I knew that these are things that could influence him with his young mind. When my son came to me, now he was in middle school. He probably going, ooh, I hope he don't see this video. I love you, dear. But they have like body spray for men, and I think it's called Axe, A-X-E. I think that's the one. But he's seen a commercial where the guy sprays the stuff on and he gets all these women, right? So he had just started middle school. He was in 6th grade. So he just had to have some of that because in my son's mind, if I bought that male body spray for him and he sprayed it on when he went to school, he was going to get all the girls. So that just goes to show the mind of our children. Well, at least the ones who get to grow up as a child. Some of them have to grow up being a parent. Wow. No, we wouldn't have been doing that in my house. Well, I don't know if the dad gave him the gun, but the dad was sitting in court today, also getting charged. So, apparently, he has something to do with it. Either he gave him one, or he let him have access to it. Oh, he bought it. What is with these people buying their young children guns for Christmas? Ain't nothing else in the world to buy your child. You can't buy them a scooter. I mean, some tennis shoes, a new headset things. my gosh. And see, that's why I worked in the school district for 8 years, and I subbed for 8, and then I worked for like 2. But even now, they'll send me an email saying they want me to come back and sub. I'm like, y'all crazy. I can't outrun a bullet. I can't, if one of these kids want to jump on me, it's a done deal. Because no, we're not doing all that. Who sleeps with a hammer under their pillow? Oh, said that the child sleeps with a hammer. Okay, now why? How does that sound? Why is your child sleeping with a hammer under their pillow? You don't think that's a bit odd? That if there's nothing going on in your home, that they need to protect themselves like that at night, then don't you think they should get some help? I wish they'd change our gun law. Do this so I can see the TV better. I personally would think it's a bit odd if my son is sleeping with a hammer underneath his pillow. There's something going on. We should do something like that here, Sandy. Or the mom had the hammer because she was afraid of the child. We're not doing that either. No. I'm not going to sleep with a hammer under my pillow because I'm afraid of my child. There was a story that had came out a few years ago. I want to say the young man was about 11 or 12. And there must have been some issues because mom did have him in counseling. And she had cameras on the inside to videotape things going on inside her home. And so he had wanted one of those, those virtual, you put the thing, the eye thing, you put it on your face and you can see the virtual stuff and play like that, like you're actually in it. He wanted one of those. I think it's a PS5, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a gamer. I know my son has one. So he wanted that, and she told him no, and he killed her. Hi, BP. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, because he couldn't get one. And do you know, after they took him in, because the sister, his mom's sister reported him to the police because they had suspected that he might have done it because he lied and said he didn't know anything about it. Then after they let him come home because of his age with the family, because they didn't know for sure if he had did it, do you know he had his mom's credit card and he still ordered himself that headset? And when they took him in, after the aunt turned him in, do you know one of his questions to her when they came to check on him was, did it come in? What he had ordered, wanted to know if the headset came in. I was just like, I can't. I cannot. I refuse to be afraid of something that I birthed into this world. Now, there could be a discussion of whether some children come here in a certain way where they're predisposed to, I guess we could say evil. I don't know. The jury's still out on that. Some people believe yes, some people believe no. I believe like this. We're born into sin. So if we're born into sin, yes, we could have a child that comes into the world that is just evil. But my thing is, if you're a parent, you recognize stuff when they're young. You recognize stuff as your child is growing up. But if you're not parenting, you have no idea what's going on. I bet if they took a poll tonight out of, 500 households with children in there, half the parents would not even know what's going on with their child. Whether they like school this year, are they doing their work, are they having any issues? I had not planned on being a single parent mom, but when I became one, it pretty much grasped it, and that was what I did. I became a mother. Oh my gosh. That whole, I wouldn't have, my teeth done fell out some since I got older, but I would have never had none had I been yelling at my mom in the store. Yeah, my son wasn't going to do that either. Now, as he got older, I believed in him being able to express his opinion, in a respectful way. You can tell me your side of it or whatever the case may be, but then the bottom line is I'm going to decide what we're going to do or how it's going to work. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he was always allowed to express himself, but you're not going to be yelling, I tell you to do something, you tell me no. And it starts when they're young. Like now, my son is raising his son. And so it's a 24-hour job. And he does what I did. Because he's the only child there, because he does have siblings, but they're living with their mother. This is the only child my son has by his mom, but he does get all the kids so that they can spend time together. He gets them all, and those are not his biological children. But during the week and stuff, he colors with him, he reads to him, all the things that I used to do. My son said the other day, because he works with young children, and he was saying one of the children in his class, he was really acting up, and so the director has this thing where she calls it's called gentle something, this new thing that they're doing now where it's not a discipline, it's like you gently redirect the child into something else. Well, she called herself doing that. He called her a poofy head. I was like, uh-huh. And sometimes, Sandy, it may take someone else. Like, hi, One Man's Wish. I started my own business in 2007. And one of the things I did, I tutored. And so by me tutoring, I tutored a lot of children in middle school on up. And I had a lot of parents request that, or, wanted to know would I mentor their child. And so, okay, Lisa, I guess you heard about that. Gentle parenting, okay. But in that, because they didn't have, or they hadn't created a rapport where their child would come and talk to them, because I wasn't their parent, a lot of times I could find out what was going on with them and let the parent know. So sometimes you may have to get outside help to help you parent. And there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you're the only adult in the household and you have multiple children, you need the help. You need the assistance. So there's nothing wrong with getting safe, responsible people, whether it's in your family or outside your family, to help support you. You know what? I would agree with you, Willera, on that, because when I was a child, we had to go outside. We didn't sit in the house. Well, you weren't going to sit in the house all day because you didn't want to. You went outside and played with your friends. In the summertime, you never see children outside. You don't see them riding bikes. You don't see them skateboarding. I'm like, where are they? And I think that if parents don't require their children to have a certain amount of time on the games and the TV and the phones, then that's what you get, because they have become the babysitters. I only have one child, Sandy. You just have to. I think if you start with the first one, even if you have 3 or 4, you just pass the stuff down. You know what I'm saying? We just got to do better. We have just got to do better. And the sad thing is, not only the lives that are being lost, because 2 14-year-olds, they didn't even get to live. 14, and they're no longer here. But my thing is, we're doing them a disservice. We're just doing them a disservice. Oh yes, Still I Rise. We were not allowed to be in adult conversation. If my mother had, adult friends, or her and my dad had adult friends over, we knew to go upstairs to our rooms. And even if it was family, if it was like my aunts and uncles that might have came in town or whatever, we went, and the kids went and played and did kid stuff, and the adults did adult stuff. I was never allowed to sit. Even if my mother was on the phone, she's always have the same. Little pictures have big ears, which she's talking about us. And so, if she was talking on the phone to one of her girlfriends or something, and let's say she was in the kitchen talking, we knew we needed to move on up out of there so that she could have a private conversation. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Sandy. If they had the rules they had when I was little, because we couldn't even talk on the home phone like that. Because I remember I had a cutoff when I was in, I want to say, junior high. And you had to be off the phone by 9 o'clock during the week. And sure enough, the one little boy that I wanted to call me would call me like at 8:45. And let me tell you something, you be on that phone if you want to after 9. My parents had no problem, especially my dad. I'm trying to read y'all comments while I'm talking too. He would pick up the phone and he'd be like, Deborah, you want to tell him good night, or should I tell him good night? Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. Just embarrassing. So when they would go out somewhere, I would be on the phone, because we had the old dial-up phone plugged into the wall. So I would sit in the kitchen, and when I seen the headlights coming up, I'd be like, hey, if I hang up real quick, that means my parents just came home. There are just some things that I think, not everything my parents did was good, but there are some rules and stuff that they had that were good rules. And when I got older, I met people who, they had parents that didn't parent, or they had one parent in the home that didn't really parent them, and they got to do what they wanted. And the one thing they always said was that they wish they had had a parent that gave them some structure, gave them some rules, cared enough about them to make sure that they were okay. I'm trying to think that we have redial. I don't think we had redial on our phones then when I was in like junior high. You had the rotary phone. Am I the only one that used the rotary phone? You had the rotary phone. There wasn't no call waiting or nothing. If you called, the line was busy, and you only made phone calls when you got home. Girl, Divine, I did not get a cell phone till I was 37 or 38. Yeah, so I mean, there was none of this, all the stuff you got on phones now. That was unheard of back then. Isn't it funny that now you have a fit if you leave your house without your phone? But there was a time that we literally left our homes without having a phone on us, and we managed to go through the whole day. And when if there was emergencies and stuff, we found a phone to be able to use. But now, we got to have that phone right next to us. Usually, you got people that walk around like this all day with their phone in their hand. Ooh, excuse me. That is so crazy, though, how what we feel like we can't live without now, we live without. Like 24/7 TV. I think I mentioned this before. When I was growing up, TV went off at 12. They played the national anthem and the flag blew, and then it went to fuzz. So after 12, there was no TV watching. And what you did, Sandy? You used a payphone. You can't find a payphone nowadays. I think they took them all out. You are hard pressed to find a payphone. Well, I talk when I feel like it, and when I don't feel like it, I don't answer the phone. I'll get back to you. Yep, Willow Road, my mom used to give us a quarter. You always had to have mad money when you went out. You always had to have a quarter, so just in case, when I started dating, and also, just in case the emergency came. But you had them quarters there so you could make a phone call if something happened. Or if the boy, got crazy with you. That's too funny. I bet you nowadays, well, heck, they got Cash App cards and everything else, credit cards. So what am I thinking of? We don't have public phones. I'm trying to think, is there any place here where I've seen a public phone booth? And can you imagine? We used to use those phones and not even think about germs. We weren't thinking about wiping off the whatever, the phone thing. We used to pick up the phone, put our money in, and push the buttons. How much? How many germs do you think was in a public phone booth? Yeah, I love penny loafers. Those are my favorite shoes. I mean, but we didn't think of like all the stuff we have to think about now. Like ever since the big C, when you go out, you consciously think about touching the grocery handles or the doors. I never like touching the doors, especially like in public bathroom. I always use my clothes or take paper towel. Because what sense does it make for me to wash my hands and then I open the door where everybody else been touching it? Oh my God. That was the worst job I ever had. 1 year to make extra money, I decided I would deliver phone books. I hated. First of all, they gave you all the phone books, and we had like a big one and then a little small one. And so you had to put them in a bag and stuff. And so I paid my son and one of his friends to bag them all up for me and put them in the car. And then I would deliver them. It was going pretty good at first. Thank you, Sandy. And I went up to this house, and I had just put because their thing was, You couldn't just throw it in the driveway. So that's how they did mine. The people that delivered mine just threw my phone book in the driveway. But I was trying to do the job right because I'm that type of person. So I got out and I had just put it on the people's porch. When I turned around, it was like 5 to 6 dogs right behind me in a semicircle barking. And I was like, oh my God. What? Because my car is like over here. I couldn't get off the porch without one of the dogs doing something to me. So now I'm knocking on the door. Well, I was in one of these bougie, rich neighborhoods, so even if they looked out the door and seen me, I had on this bright orange winter coat. And I'm sure they seen this black woman with this orange coat on and was like, no, we not opening the door. And I'm just about to beat the door down because I'm like, please help me. So finally, I was like this while I was facing the door. I started praying to God. And I was like, God, please help me get out of this situation because I did not know what to do. Do you know when I turned around, there were no dogs. Not a one. Man, I ran and jumped in my car and I took them back. All the extra phone books I still had, I took them back and told them I wasn't going to be able to do this no more. I tell you what, I have tried some crazy jobs back when I was a single parent to bring in extra money. I delivered newspapers. Oh my God, that one, I didn't get chased, but that one really sucked. And I can't imagine doing it now because I used to have to go and get the newspapers at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And then you have to bag those too. And I would take my son and I had made a pallet on the back seat. And I would put him on the back seat, wrapped up so he could finish sleeping. And I'm out running newspapers, you know. And now I'm thinking about I left my child in the car while I'm out putting newspapers on people's front porch. And apartment buildings were the worst because you had to go up and down stairs. And, you know, the way they build them, anybody could be hiding anywhere. I was just like, I think about that now. I'm like, thank the Lord that He protected me in some of these situations when I had these bright ideas of how I was going to make more money. Well, I'm glad you were okay, Sandy. Oh my gosh, Willow. I still have, somewhere around here, I still have a couple of address books from back in the day with phone numbers in it. And yeah, you remember people's number. You know what? I hate to admit this. I don't know anybody's number by heart other than my own. That is so sad. That if I had to call somebody in an emergency, I don't know their number. And so, hey, Martina. I was just thinking about this the other day that I was like, you know what? I need to get a new address book. Just one of the little small ones. And put people's numbers in it. So that if something happens, like I lose my phone or something, I got somebody's number. Because otherwise, I don't know it. I still know the phone number we had when I was young, when we first moved here. I still know that number. Oh, I bet it is, Sandy. You know what? I think that we don't realize how much nature and us coincide with things. You know, like the tides and the moon and the sun and the rotation and, you know, all these things really affect us, but we don't really realize how it affects us because we're all in tune with each other, whether we believe it or not. That's why, you know, it's sort of like if you think about it, it makes kind of sense that, like for me, I have seasonal depression in the wintertime and stuff, but you got to think of it, that's the end of the season for things growing and living in a certain way. The leaves fall off, they're dead, everything is naked. You know, there's some things that grow, depending on what part of the country you're in. And it's kind of dormant for a while, and then everything comes back to life kind of in the spring. So it's sort of like, you know, you go down, and then when the spring comes, you ever notice when the spring comes, everybody gets happier and chipper more, and they want to be outside and all that. And in the wintertime, it's sort of like everybody's huddled up in the house, leave me alone, I don't want to be bothered. Thank you, Dee Dee. Hey, you guys, thumbs up if you're on an iPhone. Those three little dots up in the right-hand corner, just hit that and you can thumbs up the video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Even if you don't watch me all the time, just subscribe. It's free. And who knows, you might get blessed for subscribing to me. I can't promise that, but it's a possibility. Oh, we got a lot of nurses up in the chat. Let me just say this. They always tell us, you know, military people, thank you for your service. I want to say to all the people that work in the medical field, whether you're a nurse, a doctor, CNA, whatever. You're the person that takes the food to the people in the hospital. You're the person that clean up. Whatever you are that you work in the healthcare field, thank you. Thank you for still staying around after the big C and still being there to take care of us. We don't always tell you how much we appreciate you, so I'm going to say thank you for us. Oh, I didn't know that, Martina. Cut your hair according to the moon. Interesting. Interesting. You know, I think life changes you if you live long enough. The person I was in my 20s would never be sitting here doing this. She didn't have time. She was busy. She was out. She was all about herself. It was all about having fun, doing what I want to do without any restraints other than my job, which was the military. You know, the 30s and 40s was about growing my family. And then the 50s, still finishing up the family stuff. And then, you know, the children are grown and I got divorced. And so now, the end of my 50s, middle 50s on, is really now about me. So, but it's a different me. It's a much mellow me, peaceful me. I try not to have I don't like negative energy in my life anymore. You know, if you're one of those people there's always something wrong and you cannot think of anything good that's going on with you, I just don't care to talk to you. I really, really don't. I can try to, you know, try to help you maybe get into a better mindset, but if that's how you're going to be on and on and on, we can't be friends. Oh, Sandy, you still a baby. You're on the front end of knowing yourself. And I now understand why they would say that as people got older, you know, they just spoke their mind. Because you figure, shoot, I'm old. What I care? The things that I cared and stressed about in my 30s and 40s and stuff mean absolutely nothing to me now. They really don't. If I leave my house, fine. If I don't leave my house, fine. If I want to be bothered, I will. If I don't feel like being bothered, I don't. I don't feel like I'm obligated to do anything other than pretty much what I want to do. And some people may not like that, but I feel like, you know what, I put in my dues to be able to do that. Sandy Boo Boo, you already got the old lady vibe where you don't have no filter. You know, the wisdom you gain as well, hopefully if you're smart, the wisdom you gain as you get older. Um, it's a shame that you can live life and not learn anything from your life. And there are people out there who have not. They still have the mentality of a 20-year-old. You know, you should get better with time. What's the saying? When you know better, you do better. Learn from your mistakes. You know, there's some things I went around the mulberry bush a whole bunch of times till it finally dawned on me I need to do something different. Learn from your mistakes. If you made it twice, you need to say to yourself, hold on, what's going on here? I'm continually making the same mistakes over. You know, I think it's our culture, Martina, because in other cultures, they hold their elders in high esteem. In the United States, they just kind of just push them away, put them in an old folks' home, put them somewhere where we don't have to see them, but we visit them maybe once a month. We don't have to be bothered with them. And that's why you shouldn't stop. You know, I continue to go to school. I continue learning is something that, you know, that I do. I play games. The games I play on my phone are ones to help with my memory, though that's debatable. To keep me, you know, to use those muscles so I don't lose them. You can tell as you get older that things are not the same, like your memory. But there are things that you can do to try to hold on to your facilities until you can't do it no more. You know. My mother has just gotten to a point where she doesn't drive anymore. And it was very difficult for her, which I understand. But she has neuropathy in one foot, and it would be numb, and she couldn't feel the, you know, the gas or the foot pedal. So I'm like, you cannot drive like that. Listening is a very important skill. When I went into counseling, I'm going to say before I went into counseling, I heard people. I wasn't always listening. I was busy trying to talk, and I heard what you said. But once I started counseling, I had to learn how to listen so that I could be observant enough to see what was going on with the person from the things they were not telling me. And when you become a better listener, then that's when you can pick up on, you know, like when I worked outside the home, you know, you say good morning to your coworkers, but because I had became such a better listener as I was going through school, I could pick up instantly when I said good morning to somebody, and, you know, they'd be like, everything's okay, and you knew it wasn't okay. Thank you, Martina. You know, it gives you the ability to have empathy and compassion for others because you really do then know what they're talking about. And it helped me in my relationship with men because as women, I think a lot of times we hear men, but we don't listen to them. Do I feel the older generation is the same? Dee, what's in your wine? You got DEP instead of DAP. Are you saying, Divine, are they the same as when, like, my parents were generation? Hey, Nick. Black Fuego is my baby sister. I think that each generation has changed from the one before it. Just like young people have to deal with things that I didn't deal with when I was younger. The things my granddaughter deal with, I didn't have to deal with when I was her age. The things my son deal with at 30, there are things he deal with that I didn't have to deal with. There are things that my mom dealt with that I don't deal with, and there were things that I had to deal with that she didn't deal with. You know what I'm saying? So each generation, there are things that are the same, and then there are a lot of things that change because we're constantly evolving as a culture and as people. So at like with our technology, think about it. My mother's in her 80s. You know, I was just sitting here saying they had black and white TV. They were listening to radio. How many people you hear now say they listen to radio? I grew up on radio, but my son didn't. You know, I was listening to NPR, and he found it so interesting because they still do like old radios. You know, they do stories where they're telling the story on the radio, and there was like one story that they were telling, and I was listening to it every week. And he got so into it with me because he had never listened to somebody telling a story and there was no picture or anything. You just had to listen to the story and you imagine how things were from what they said. So, you know, I guarantee if I live long enough and I'm in my 90s, things will be totally different. There'll be things that we got that we don't have now. So, you know, sometimes change is good, sometimes not so much. You know, there's people who believe that if women were still in the homes and taking care of the homes, that maybe we wouldn't have so many issues with families. But then you would have a whole bunch of unhappy women like they had then. There was a lot of women who were unhappy, but who were they going to tell that to? Yeah. Oh, girl, you had to work in the fields. Girl, if you a dinosaur, Divine, then I don't even, I guess I'm extinct. uh, you know, like now, I used to listen to the radio in my car on the way to work and stuff. But now, I listen to YouTube. Or either, oh my gosh, I used to listen to, oh, you remember they were tapes, but they wasn't cassettes. They were the big, what the heck were those things called? What is it when I get on here? I can't never remember nothing. But they were like, they were music cassettes, but they were big. What was it? And you pushed them in just like you would do a cassette. But that's what we used in the car. And you could not carry a lot of them around. 8-track. You couldn't carry a lot of them around because they were big and bulky and heavy. But I grew up on 8-tracks. I would get in the car, I would be driving my dad's Thunderbird, and I put the 8-track in, and I would be jamming. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, when I got my first stereo, it had an 8-track player on it, not a cassette player. We thought when cassettes came in, we was big time. Ooh-wee. And I bet you they come back around just like record players have come back around. I bet you because cassettes were a good deal. I mean, they were inexpensive. You could tape your music on there. What you talking about? Oh, that was high tech. I didn't get a CD player in my car till I was a grown adult. Cassettes were lighter, easier. You could tape anything. You know, you could have a big one or a little one. You could have the one at the house that you played your music on with your stereo. You had the one in the car, and then you could carry one. The boom boxes. Remember the boom boxes? No, you couldn't rewind them, but you could push each track. So if you wanted to hear track one over again, you would have to push track one. Because they had like different tracks. But yeah, that was the thing. Everybody, I got like, they're not boom boxes, but I got two of the CD players around here that I don't listen to my CDs anymore much because I can get everything on YouTube. Well, I didn't work in a record factory, but I worked in the record department. You talking about having a job back in the day? Oh my goodness, I was like 19, 20, and I got a job at the PX, which is the post exchange, is on the military base. It's like the shopping store where you bought your clothes, you know, stereo equipment, all that kind of stuff. And I got in the record department. Oh my gosh, you got to see all the men, because everybody was going to come to the record department to get their music. Yep. And then, do you know albums cost $5 when I worked there? I used to get all the latest music. That's when I was really hot and heavy into Prince. So I got all my Prince albums for $5. Which his very first one was Soft and Wet. You know, you are soft and wet. I hate to say it, his best music was the early on music. Soft and Wet. What are you making them faces for? You don't remember Prince? Everybody remember Prince. Hi, Annie. And you know, we didn't know how tall he was because in the beginning, he didn't perform. He didn't do concerts or anything because back in the day, going to a concert was a big thing. He didn't do that. He only put out an album, or he put out, you know, his single, and you didn't really see him other than if he put a picture on the album. It took him years before he did tours. Yep, 45s because they were the cheapest. Because, you know, and it was a good deal because let's say they had 10 songs on the album, but you only liked 4. You could buy the 4 that you liked. For You is the name, ma'am. That's For You was the name of the album. Yes, Prince is one of those artists that you can listen to at any time and still, you know. I remember when Dirty Mind came out. My mother hated that song. Hated it. That whole album was a bit nasty. You know what? When that album came out, parents was just like, what in the world is this? What, jack you off? I mean, if you think about, Prince was on the forefront of doing stuff that other people were not doing. He was way before the rappers singing the stuff they're doing now. He was putting out stuff that had everybody in an uproar. Yep. You remember the little piece that you would put in the middle for your 45s? Ooh, that was so funny. It was like a little plastic piece. They came in different colors because you was always losing them. But that's the only way you could play your 45 because the little thing for the stereo was tiny that you could play your albums on. But if you wanted to play a 45, you had to have the adapter to click in the middle. Yes. He was different. Yes, he was very different when he came on the scene. He wasn't like all the other artists that was out there. He was very much his own person. Girl, that is not the father of your children. Prince was my boyfriend way before you even thought about Prince, ma'am. He was my man, okay? My man. Yes, girl, you used to have to buy the little, they used to come like in a little package, you had to get them because you was always losing them. I can dream? Okay. Really? Really? I guess I don't have as many topics when I'm not drinking, huh? Oh my goodness. Let me tell you something, Martina. I can't make no babies no more. But Barry White, still the man. On a rainy day? Oh yeah. Barry White. Prince did not write no song about you, gal. Quit lying. Yeah, I like Rick James. But I still like my Barry. I might have to listen to little Barry before I go to bed tonight. And he was a big man, but Barry was fine to me. That voice. Hey, baby. That's something I want to say to you. Oh, I have some wine in there. I was trying to see if my tummy was going to settle down from earlier today. And it's not too late. It's just 10 o'clock. You know what, Sandy? No, ma'am, you cannot. You cannot. Who had, oh, he had a silky voice? Yes, he did. He sure did. He could have sung me out of my panties. Yes, sir. Barry White and I used to like Beg and Lenny too. Cause I love you. Cause I love you. Oh, 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 oh. I sat in front of the radio. We had one of those big old floor stereos. I don't know if anybody else had that, where the top lift up and the system was down in the bottom. Big old speakers on the inside, but it was very decorative on the outside. And I sat there and I listened to that song over and over and over till I could get all the Parker. That was me. That was me. Until I could get all the oh 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 oh. Oh yeah, you had to put your albums up on the wall now. I had a friend. He had a wall unit made just for albums. It took up like one wall. Jalapeno pineapple vodka. Oh, no ma'am. Ugh. You infused it yourself? Pineapple's okay, but the jalapenos? I guess it gives it like a little peppery kick to it. Okay, you finished, sir? You finished? Say hey to your auntie girlfriend. Say, hey, auntie girlfriend. Nice and spicy. Say, hey, auntie girlfriend. Come here. Say, hey, auntie girlfriend. Look. Say, hey, auntie girlfriend. How are you? I love you. I miss you. Don't lick me in my mouth. Okay, thank you. I love you too. I don't know, Sandy. I see people drinking and eating some of the oddest stuff. Okay, you want to get down? You can go back to sleep now, sir. He looks bigger. Nope, he's the same. He gotta go get his shots tomorrow, and I literally have to give him some trazodone before he go because he acts so ugly with the doctors. Hold on, y'all. Ooh. Hey, Parker, can you entertain the people till I come back? Here, let me let you. Come here. You want to sit in the chair? Okay. You entertain the people till I come back. Okay? You're supposed to entertain the people. Oh yeah, I like Sexy Dancer. Cadbury chocolate liquor? No. You know, Sandy, why do you request so much, girl? You're the only one to be requesting everything. Reaction videos, Donisha, ma'am. You want too much. You want too much. Yeah, I think for a couple of Prince albums, Dirty Mind had it, and NWA, I remember when I came from Korea, and what was that song they had out? Oh my gosh, people was having such an issue about it, and it had a big old sticker on there for NWA. Matter of fact, one of the guys that was with that group was saying that Meg the Stallion, Nicki Minaj, and I think he said Cardi owe him some money. What was that song? Not Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad. The NWA song that made them have a sticker on there. It was a nasty song though. It was. I think they were talking about doing it in the booty and all this stuff. Oh, girl, yeah. Well, she was in that type of business. She was dancing. She was trying to get her money. They weren't gonna have sex with them. It was one of their first ones. I can't think of the name of it. Nuts on Your Chin? I don't remember that, Sandy. I think you be coming up with shit over there in Australia. Did NWA have a song called Nuts on Your Chin? I don't think so. No, ma'am. You making that up. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with Sandy. Oh yeah, okay. It's always Chris. It's always Chris. I might think that Chris is your alter ego. Oh, I'm pouring this wine up like I'm drinking Kool-Aid. Okay, so tonight I'm drinking some of the Sweet Bitch Moscato. I just love the name of this wine. Oh, by Eazy-E, okay. That's one of my favorite. I got so much love to give. Yeah. I don't know, Sandy. That's what you keep telling us. Ice Cube had Nappy Dug Out. You know, I'm glad I didn't know the names of half these songs. I used to just dance to them. Nappy Dug Out. Where can you? You know what? You have to look, because I first seen it on Tasha K, and she was in Atlanta, and it took them a while to get it here. I don't even find it like in the grocery stores. I have to go to the liquor store, or the convenience stores actually carry a better selection. But they have different flavors and stuff. It's pretty good. It's not real sweet, but it is a sweet wine. Yeah, Sandy, you're gonna have to do that, because I'm not believing you. Not believing you, ma'am. That's why I wish that I could play music in the background. Because, back in the day, I could cut a rug. I could really get down. Now, I be wanting to get down in my head. But I'm a mad chair dancer. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Work it out. And that's when you can dance on a slow song for a good at least 5 to 7 minutes, like Superstar by Luther, one of my all-time favorites. All-time favorite slow dance song, Superstar. Your video's not monetized, and I guess it depends on the artist, because sometimes you can get in YouTube timeout. So I'm not sure if they will put you in YouTube timeout, but I do know that your video's not monetized. Oh my gosh, Ohio Players, yes. And all the guys couldn't wait to see the new album cover, because it was always a naked woman, and it had something to do with one of their songs. But they have an option now, like when I did my birthday video, I had a birthday song that they picked up right away, and you can take the music out. But I don't want to be in YouTube timeout, because that's 90 days that you can't come on. Because it's not about the money. Because you don't really make no money. The more subscribers you have, the more money you can make off the commercials and stuff. So kind of go by your subscriber count. But I look at it, because y'all used to watch the videos a lot more. I get more views on the lives, but I figure I do good. If I got 1,200 subscribers and I get half of them to watch a video, now I would be hurt if I only got 600 some people watching a video. Alright, Sandy, and I had 32,000 people. Yeah, I would have a problem with that. But it's okay. It's okay. Oh, Divine, you're so sweet. Yeah, Leo season is gone. It's now Virgo season. So if there's anybody in the chat that has a September or end of August birthday, happy birthday to the Virgos. Yeah, y'all a little emotional group there. Seemed like Leo season went by kind of fast this year. But I kind of think of Leo season all year anyway, so you know. You know. I can't, guys, I had a topic and it just left my mind earlier. I did, I got curious and I wanted to see what was McNasty gonna tell us about how to be celibate. It was the same stuff that she was saying in the first 3 videos. I'm hard pressed to take advice from somebody that don't use their advice. Like, if you're a financial advisor and you're in debt, I can't take advice from you. I mean, some of the stuff she say is just plumb crazy. And I'm going to say this again to you guys. These YouTube streets, this is a whole virtual world. It kind of mimics our real world. There's some crazy folks on YouTube. And you cannot trust what you see out here. People are filtering what they say through their own experiences in how they live. Yeah, I heard she was pregnant again, Divine. I think this would be what? Her 10th child? Makes no damn sense, because she's a young girl. And I think she having the babies just so she can get a YouTube check, because people are watching a young girl have another baby out of wedlock. Which that amazes me, because Miss Ma'am McNasty, she was going in on women who have children out of wedlock, having different baby daddies and all this stuff. But Peach McIntyre is one of the people that you hold in high esteem. You always talking about her. And yet she out here making babies so she can get more money from YouTube. Which is crazy. And I'm just like, how are you helping somebody become celibate when you're putting them down? And my thing is, you did not live a perfect life. And just because you had one child and you were married, you weren't even happy in the marriage, because you said you married the man because you was trying to get out of from the home that you was in, your parents' home. So my thing is, I don't know. She can't tell me nothing. That's all I got to say. She cannot tell me how to do anything, because having sex is not the only sin. If she would look it up, there's lying, there's manipulation, there's stealing, because she does a lot of stuff that ain't right. Oh, y'all are a cute couple. But I still don't believe it'll always be Chris, Sandy. I don't. I mean, her whole thing about celibacy was the whole speech was still about her own family. That's my thing. Everybody, she's a negative person. That's why I don't like watching her videos, because I feel like her negative spirit will jump out the TV and come into my home. I mean, everything is bad. She never has any good experience. She don't know any good, decent people. Everything is somebody this. Everybody she knows have 50 million baby daddies. They're unhappy. Oh, and she was telling people to leave their man. She was telling them to leave their man if they wasn't in a good relationship and stuff. I'm like, how you gonna tell these people to leave their marriages and stuff? And I was like, how you out here giving advice? But you ain't giving advice. But you telling people in one breath to leave their mates, but you're not giving advice. I'm just like, stop it. Because there are people that would follow her. Well, prayers are free, and you should, there's nothing wrong with praying for somebody, even if they're crazy like her. But my thing is, she is one of these people that's always giving advice that she don't follow. Telling people what to do, even though she says she's not. Downs people. Because my thing was, I was saying to myself, how many single women with children may have been watching her for her to say so many derogatory things about a woman who had babies out of wedlock. No, she ain't gonna read the Bible. She tells people to put scriptures in her comments or in her chat. And she used the scripture about when Paul said that it's better to get married, than burn in hell. She said it was God. I was like, God didn't say that. Paul said it. And he even says in the scripture that I say this, that if you can't stop having sex out of wedlock, it's better to get married than burn in hell. But he would wish that you would not be married so that you could have all your time to praise and worship God. She said that she got the roof rack up. I didn't watch her do it, but she said she got the roof rack up there. We'll see how long it's up there. I'd be afraid that she'd be driving down the highway with that roof rack and that thing fly off or something. Because didn't Winter's Blue make his out of wood? Hi, Pam. Well, Miss Charlene welds. So I think she welded it because when she was doing the rivets, you could see that they had welds. So Miss Charlene did the welding. I was like, Miss Charlene is a handy dandy. I need her around here. She know how to handle a saw and a welder. No, hers is welded. If you go back and look where she was putting the rivets in, you can see the welds at the ends where they were putting the brackets and stuff on. And in one of the videos on Miss Pauline's, you can see Miss Charlene doing welds. She's a very handy dandy woman. I would pray that she would not put that up there and not weld it. That would be very scary. Very, very scary. I don't know. I didn't watch. You know what? I don't watch her close enough. It could be that it's not welded. And that's very scary because that thing could easily fall apart up there with it moving around when you're driving and stuff. That was the whole purpose of welding it, to make it more secure. Why would she build it and not have Miss Charlene weld it? That wouldn't make sense. She's right there. DDK, not like I used to. I just happen to be watching her this week because Sandy put in a request, but I don't really watch her like I used to. She ain't doing nothing. I don't like watching people eat. And definitely not her. Like when she was talking about the whole celibacy thing, she was eating ribs. I don't like watching mukbangs and stuff like that. So I don't like watching her eat. And her laying in the bed with the stuffed animals isn't exciting to me either, or her washing dishes. I mean, how many times can you watch somebody wash dishes? I can watch myself wash dishes. And her ASMRs are not good. Now, I like the way Paulie does his because he's doing like sounds that help you go to sleep at night. But listening to a fan, I got fans all in my house. I can listen to my own fan. Now I did watch the video where she said she ordered this really nice tile. So it's peel and stick. She don't even have a floor down. And I'm trying to figure out how hard is it to put a wooden floor down in there. She had a mat. She could have laid the mat on top of the wood and cut out the exact shape that goes in there. And then all she would have to do is put the tile down on top of it. I don't understand why putting her floor in has been so complicated. What guy? What guy are you talking about? Oh, she has the wood down now? But it buckled. I think she has a water leak. Because when they did their little test, when Charlene they used the water hose to see if there's any water leaks, she had water up underneath that mat that was on her floor originally. There was water under there. Oh, some guy on the property. I wonder if that was Pauline's husband. And she didn't want to admit that I believe she bought a lemon. Because I believe she got a water leak somewhere, and that would definitely, it wouldn't make no sense to put a wood floor down and you got a water leak. Thank you for being here, Divine. You have a wonderful night. I hope you come back. Oh, wait a minute. Miss Charlene and Miss Pauline was smart enough to get a helper, but not her. Yeah, I thought about that too. I was like, you done drilled all those holes in that floor. Are you going to cover them up? Are you going to seal them with anything? I bet you she's using the helper for free. I bet you Miss Charlene and Miss Pauline paying that person to help them, and she using them. Girl, but you sitting here trying to tell people how to live their life, and you sitting here using people. I mean, anybody can go to the Bible and pick out a scripture to fit whatever it is they do, or whatever they want, or whatever they want to believe. But just being celibate ain't gonna get you in now. Like I said, that's why I call her McNasty, because she's a nasty woman. You know, she's too old to be as nasty as she is. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't even know how to use half the tools you're using. This is the first time you use them, and that's because Miss Charlene showed you, or you watched them, and now you're trying to tell people how to use them. It makes no sense to me. That's why I'm just always dumbfounded by the people that watch her consistently and they don't see it. I'm just trying to figure out what glasses are y'all looking through. But it's the same 4 or 5 that talk to her all the time and say all the right stuff so they don't get blocked. So yeah, she's quite boring to me. I don't think anybody's really sending her any money. Not like they used to. She lost some of her best subscribers. She lost some of her best subscribers being nasty and mean. Because this group here, they watch her, but they ain't sending no money. That's why it's taking so long for her to do this van bill. Because see, had she done this van bill last summer when she was getting all the presents and stuff, she'd have had it done. Because them people paid for her to decorate that whole tiny trailer thing. They gave her so much stuff, she still got stuff sitting down there. She's buying subs, people. She's not doing anything for her to get 10,000 subs at one time. There are people that get 10,000 subs in a month, and there's people that may get 10,000 subs in a week, but that's because their video went viral. There was something on there that a lot of people wanted to see. What the hell is she doing down there that you figure she getting 10,000 people? Nothing. And see, the thing is, if YouTube find out, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to lose your channel. You lose your channel for buying subs. And you can buy comments. I didn't even know you could buy comments. Hi, Nikki. We got 2 Nikki's in the chat. And see, that's what I'm saying. You can tell when somebody buys subscriber. And that's where she got mad at me at. Because like I told her, you got 50-some thousand subscribers. And you may get 1,000 views. You're not even getting 10% of the people that you claim that are subscribers to watch you. You should get at least 8 to 9, 10,000 views if you got that many subscribers. I was like, if you do the stats, I have more views than she do if you do the stats. I have 1,200 subscribers. I can get 600, and on a live, I can get 1,000, views. I can get 6 to 1,000 views. That's like me getting almost 100% of the subscribers that I have to watch me. I don't even care if she have a page anymore because it ain't doing nothing. I mean, my thing was, she quit talking about God, really. The only reason why she's been talking about it lately is because she watched one of my lives. She was in the chat and heard me say that she wasn't talking about God, so she had to go back and do that. She can't use people because nobody wants to give her anything. The only person she using is Miss Charlene. And I figure Miss Charlene must like being used. My mother used to always say, if you find a nut, crack it. This woman is a nut, and she's letting her crack her. So I'm like, yeah, it's her healing journey. How long is she going to play on that? It's the same stuff. If you go back and look at her channels when she did, I forget the name of it, something prayers, and the channels that she had before, it is the same stuff. She's talking about the same stuff. She never changes. And that just goes to show how stifled she is in her life. If you can go back 5 years and this person is talking about the same thing, doing the same. 5 years ago, she was doing the fan. She was doing the ASMR videos. I mean, it's all the same thing. Yeah, she answers prayers. All of it is the same. She does the same stuff over again. So what she does, she changed the name of the channel, and she does the same stuff. But it's not working. Even with her changing the name of the channel to her healing journey. You ain't healing. How you healing? And my goodness, how many days can you talk about being celibate? I mean, it's not that much. You ain't having sex. 5 damn days of you talking about not having sex? I looked it up. I mean, a little mosquito bit me. She's gotten boring. That's all I can say. She's boring to me. I don't like watching her. She used to do a lot more bull crap. Now she just does the same stuff over again, and I don't have the energy. I can watch something else. There's a lot of other stuff on YouTube that I'd rather spend my time watching, or watch a movie or something like that. But yeah. Watching a almost 60-year-old woman not wash her ass and wash dishes, sleep with stuffed animals ain't my cup of tea. Oh, she'll last 30 days. Let me tell you something. You ever notice that when you work at a job, the laziest person is there the longest? It's like the laziest person you work with, they'll say, oh, I've been working here for 15 years. But the people who are hard workers are normally the ones that may get fired or they quit. When you're a lazy manipulator and stuff, you can last. She's been on YouTube for over 12 years. She'll be here 25 years if she lives long enough doing the same stuff. She's not going to change. She'll just change the name and hope that new people will start watching her, and she'll get money out of them. Guarantee you this: soon as that van gets built out, she gonna call, what is it, Tiny Tours? Is that who they are? And see if they will let her get on their channel again. What do you mean preparing for winter? Our winter is not, we don't get cold till January, really. But I don't know. Our weather's been so crazy. We had so much rain in July. We might actually have a winter this year. Who knows? I used to could say what the weather might be like, but even the weatherman don't know what our weather is. They can have a forecast and it don't even turn out. Like it was supposed to rain all this week. We didn't get rain till today. Well, y'all get winters. We don't get winters. We get we have like long falls. Because normally it's still warm here for Thanksgiving. So we don't have to do much preparing. And because I'm in menopause and I'm always hot, I don't even wear a coat. I have winter coats, but I don't wear them, so yeah. Yeah, but you up there, Martin, where y'all gotta shovel snow, and like my sister in Michigan, they got their own snow blower. You get the snow out the driveway and all that. No, we don't have all that. If we get snow, everything closes down. We can get this much snow, whole city gonna close. Everything gonna close down. And they can't drive here when there's a bright sunshiny day, so you know how they drive if we get a little bit of snow. So yeah. But every few years we get a good dusting. I'm trying to think the last we got snow a couple of years ago. Well, you know what? It had to be winter of 20. I want to say maybe 2020 or 2021, because it wasn't a whole lot. It was enough to cover the ground because I took Parker out there. Tomorrow I do my members live. So, yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to do the members live, so So Nikki, you still going on about McNasty? Well, thank you, Sandy and Chris. Please do. I do try to do members lives on Saturdays at 7 because the ones who are members said Saturday is a better day for them because I did it on a Sunday, but I didn't get too many people in. So members lives will be on Saturday. You was already trying? Well, I look at it like this. If I say to y'all, I need some panties, and you decide to buy me panties, I mean, if people will do the stuff that you want them to do, what can we say? I personally am not going to give my money over to somebody who's frivolous with money, because I've watched this person take the resources that other people sent to them and do stupid stuff with it. So my thing is, you're not going to take my money and waste it. You take your money from YouTube and waste it like all the stuffed animals. That was stupid. It's still stupid. But I guess since Justine has that Minecraft thing from gaming, that stuff, whatever it is. Yeah, I know, Martha. Well, you have a wonderful day at work tomorrow. Don't work too hard. Yeah, I mean, just stupid, just wasting money. Things cost too much right now. They say we're not in a recession, but it sure kind of feel like we in one. And I just can't see me sending her money that could be food money. The email address is Posse Parker, POSSE PARKER @gmail.com. I think it's in the description too. Yeah, I mean, I'm one person and I can easily spend over $100 for groceries. So I'm not sending you my money to do whatever you want and waste it. Just like with the wood. All that wood she bought to do a floor, and she wasted a lot of it. It's just sitting out there in the yard, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna use some of that to frame out. I think I'm gonna use some of that to frame out the van." But she may not. So that was just money wasted. I don't. For a person who don't have nothing, I don't understand how you have no concept of taking care of what you have. And maybe that goes with not having nothing. I don't know. Yeah, I spend a lot on food. And I'm not trying to send her none of my food money. Because she buys stuff she don't need. But the money she wasted just last year, the money she wasted last summer, she would have the money to build her van out. That's just crazy. I'm sorry. You're not. And then she had the nerve to be trying to give people financial advice. I was like, I could not believe it. She was giving people financial advice and telling them how to save, but you don't do it. And she doesn't do it. So I'm just like, no. No. She eating good at Miss Charlene's house. I bet Miss Charlene's grocery bill has gone up. I bet you Miss Charlene's grocery bill probably about $200 or $300. I mean, everything has gone up. I mean, I went and bought new locks for the condo, and I couldn't believe the price of just locks at Lowe's. I mean, everything has gone up. And a lot of her subscribers are on a fixed income too. So when you're older and you're on a fixed income, you can't afford to just be giving your money away for no reason. I mean, well, I tell you this. Sorry about the way stuff is looking tonight. It has to do with the rain. Cause I don't know why it's looking so crazy. It looks good on the phone, but it looks horrible when you're watching it. It's very blurry. So sorry about that tonight. Yeah, I remember Miss Rita. Well, I'm not even going to do that either because she says that she's a super holy Christian woman. She can pray for herself. I don't listen to her prayers. I don't. And my thing is, she's a very able-bodied person that could work. And that's another thing I don't understand. I'm older than her, and I still work. Hell, Martin is older than both of us, and she just says she's getting off because she's going to work her part-time job tomorrow. Yes, I did. I love that series. Yeah, I did, Dee Dee. Work. Work for what you want. Now, she could have a well, because like here where I live at, we use well water. So if you have a well, you don't have to pay for water. So I don't know. Saying that they're in the desert, I don't know. Watch that too. Love that series. Dee Dee, I like watching stuff like about the kings and queens back in the day. So all the things like the white queen, the red queen, Mary and Elizabeth. Hey, Ezra. Stuff like that. I like watching stuff like that. I like the clothes. Not so much the wigs and stuff. And it's just an interesting period of time for me, how they lived, you know. It's really interesting when you look at the history behind it, how they lived, and just like how they didn't wash all the time, and they used the little bags of like anise and different things like that to keep the smell off of themselves. Like is it am I saying it right? Versailles or whatever. One of the places. They were talking about how nasty it was. I think it was King Henry VIII that they would go there and just how they talk. I mean, just learned about how their bathrooms worked and different things like that. How they used the bathroom. What they used. All that stuff is interesting to me. How people live. So yeah, I watch a lot of that. Yeah, I know the word, Sandy, but I wasn't pronouncing it right. But because, back then, people came from all around, so they had to travel a long distance. So when they had gatherings, people may stay a couple of weeks, they may stay a month. And they were talking about that place was so nasty because of how they ate and just threw stuff down, and they were using the bathroom. It was just... If you get through the history on it, it was really, really gross. Yeah, it was really... And I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, the king and queen, they had it going on. I mean, hell, somebody dressed them, somebody washed them, somebody wiped their butt. I mean, it's just an interesting period in history for me. So I like watching movies from that time. A lot of people in history had issues with drugs and alcohol, and because stuff like opium, it wasn't considered bad back in the day. Thank you, Arabs. Okay, Sandy, that is so gross. Abominarium. Ugh. I mean, you have people that used a lot of things that now we would consider, prescription drugs that you just can't go and buy at the store. But back then, they had their little chemists that would put stuff together and give it to you. They used to use the what's the things that suck the blood out of you? They put on to suck the blood out. I mean, some of the medical things they did was crazy. And how, and for women, everything, they didn't understand women administration. So, thank you, Sandy. They just did all kind of stuff to us. It was crazy. I mean, they were using mercury. Like Queen Elizabeth. She ended up having to wear the white stuff on her face because that powder that they were using, I think it was mercury that was in it, but it ended up eating her skin. So she ended up having to use that because her skin was so messed up. Oh, well, gay people have been around since the existence. I mean, it's not like they just started, 10 years ago. You look in the Bible, there were people that were gay. But if you really want to look at a period of time when it was all about sex, that was doing Caligula. I can't say shit tonight. Caligula. Greece, Rome, they was pretty nasty. Everything was about sex. Sisters sleeping with brothers and all. A whole lot of incest. It was just a hot butt mess. So history itself is pretty interesting if you take the time to look back and see. There are people that's going to look back on our time and find, what we did during this time period pretty interesting. Definitely during the time period of the Big C, they're going to look back in history and be like, what the hell was going on then? Yeah, he was a right nasty fella there. Yes, he was. I don't think there was nothing that he wouldn't have sex with. That's like I was watching the last season of Bridgerton tonight, and a lot of people didn't like the last season because they were saying it was too much sex. Sex sells. Used to be that they couldn't do all that on TV. If you remember, I Love Lucy, they didn't even sleep in the same bed. They had twin beds, which was the most ridiculous thing back in the 50s and 60s. Hey, Tashana, for them to be showing married folks. Oh, he's asleep now. He was up on the video earlier. But to show married people sleeping in twin beds, but they're married, that's crazy. They didn't really want to show pregnant women. I mean, all the stuff we see now, you never would have saw that on TV. Somebody uncovered. Like I said, when they advertised bras, the lady would have on a turtleneck, and the bra would be over the turtleneck. When they advertised sanitary items, you would never see them. You would never see them. Did what come back on? Oh, Bridgerton, it has the 3rd season. Why you threw it out? But things have just really... Now, that some of that stuff, I think that we don't need to see. Leave something for the imagination. We don't have to see everybody having sex. What? Oh, that's back in the day. Oh, yeah. You know, if you look at the old TV shows, the wife. Now, how many women walking around their house in high heel pumps, cooking dinner? Thank you, Tashana. Oh, yes, Tashana. I was thinking about you earlier. I meant to leave a comment about your loss. So sorry to hear that. Dee, my sister said you threw out liquor. Well, that's because women, even now, we still second-class citizens. We don't, we still don't make the same amount of money as men. No matter how much you make, you still don't make as much as a man. They don't mind taking away the laws that cover us. They still, when it comes to health, look at it. How many pills have they made to keep a man pee-pee hard? But how many have they made for a female when she goes through menopause? Some women have a hard time during menopause and once they kind of settle down. My doctor told me that they can't make anything for females because our bodies are so different from each other. That's a bunch of crap. They don't care. I mean, they just, like I say, they still just don't treat us the way we should be treated. I mean, women, we get killed every day at the hands of a man. They don't even tell you about the majority of them. And African American women, you can hang it up. They barely talk about if you get killed. I mean, we live in a patriotic society. It's always going to be about the men. Matter of fact, I had to go to when I was working outside the home. I was counseling at an agency, and we had to have HIV training and stuff because we have a high rate here in South Carolina, and the majority of it was about gay men and the rates of them. And I raised my hand. I was like, excuse me, but we have women who are gay. And what about the women who are not, but their partner may be and they don't know? I was like, why is it that when you're doing these trainings, women are not a big part of it? Because, like here, women have a higher rate of HIV here. Because there's a lot of men who are down low that are still married, or they're dating women and they're dating men. Whatever, Sandy. You know what the hell I was talking about. But you now my damn teacher? How about that? Or was that Chris? You knew what the hell I was saying. Are you going to count how many words I say wrong like you do McNasty? Yeah, that wasn't no Chris. That wasn't no Chris. Well, I tell you what, you probably don't want to watch me when I'm drinking because I'm probably going to say a whole lot of shit wrong. Okay, so if you're going to count how many words I say wrong, I'm going to count how many mistakes that you type into the chat. You have more than 4. Matter of fact, this last one, you up to 4. I have a list of, I don't even know what the word is. List. I know it's supposed to be list. Y'all be cracking me up. Be cracking me up. And y'all ought to be glad I mellowed out. Because some folks would have got told off in this chat. They probably would never come back. They probably be like, oh hell no, I ain't messing with her crazy ass. I am not. I'm gonna unsubscribe and I'm never watching her again. And I see that trips me out because if I look at my analytics, sometimes people unsubscribe and I'm just like, that only hurts people who make all their money on YouTube. It doesn't hurt people like me who don't make their money off of YouTube. I wish people would understand that. I do not make my living off of YouTube. So whether you subscribe or don't subscribe, or subscribe and take it back, it's all good. It's all good. Parker is asleep. He says he's tired of y'all shit for the night and he's gone to bed. It is past his bedtime. He said he is not with the shits with y'all. He said y'all better quit messing with his mama. Let's see if y'all can see him. There he is. Balled up. Sleeping. It is 11 o'clock here. Somebody had something about the time. Yes, it is. Oh, I got quality subscribers. I do. I have some really nice subscribers. Well, Tashana, he was up earlier. He even looked into the camera a few times. Yeah, your baby went to sleep. He did a lot of barking earlier. But he used to me going to bed, so when it get bedtime, Parker don't care what I'm doing. He'll go, he goes ahead and go to bed. Normally he go in the bedroom and get in his bed. Surprised he's still up in here tonight. Yes, I do have high engagement. I have good subs. He probably is, Nikki. I know he get better sleep than me. You got the call at 4:49 about your friend? Probably because you were stressed and upset. Oh, don't you hate those when somebody calls you? Like, anytime somebody calls me after midnight, I'm thinking that something has to be wrong. And you ever have that one person that'll call you after midnight and be like, what you doing? And you're thinking to yourself, I was trying to sleep. Oh, I was just calling to see if you was up. And now I am. But I'm like this. I do not talk to you after midnight unless it is an emergency or I'm already talking to you. If I'm already talking to you, fine. But don't be calling me after midnight. And yes, I'm drinking wine out of a big old Coca-Cola glass. What is D&D, Nikki? You use D&D. Oh, do not disturb. I still haven't figured out how to do that on my phone, so I just tell Siri to do it. And she's a good old gal. She does it. But I heard that you can change your person. You can have a man or you can have a woman. Is that true? Does anybody know how you can do that? How you can change the person that is not Siri, but it can be somebody else that, you know, that does your stuff on your phone or TV or whatever? There should be a man. I'm not doing no damn quiz, Sandy. You need to start paying me because you have too many requests. You have more more requests than the whole everybody in the damn chat. Is this the Sandy show? Oh, they have access to? Well, how do you do that? Do you have to pay for it? Bye. Bye, Sandy and Chris. You have a make voice for yours. Bixby? Well, how do you get Bixby? I'd much rather be like Bixby. Can you put on Do Not Disturb? So how do you change it? And it's so cute because, like, I'll say, Siri, do not disturb. And she'll be like, do not disturb is on. And I'll say, thank you. And she'll say, you're welcome. In settings. Y'all always say go to the settings. Why his name couldn't be Saquon? Or Billy. Why is it Bixby? Who the hell be making up these names? Thank you. I'll just ask Siri. I bet she knows, don't she? I wonder if her and Bixby dating. You think Siri dating Bixby? One day I said Alexa. I know Siri was like, who the hell are you talking to? There ain't no damn Alexa on here. And I think it might have been that night I was doing tequila because I was like, Alexa, Alexa. And she wouldn't come on. I guess it's like, shit, my damn name ain't Alexa. I don't know. I would be like, Siri, find Bixby. Is that Life with Chai? Or is it Chai? Hi. Fan. Tashawn, are y'all still traveling or y'all settled down? Oh, you still at home though, aren't you? Is it Chai? Like ch? Okay, well, bye to you too. Let me help you out. Drop your ass up in here and I can't say your name. I'm sorry, hey. I tried. Yeah, they make this AI just too surreal. Too real, too real. Too real. Well, Nikki, you know me and phones. I still don't even know how to use this phone and I need to get it upgraded. I need a new one. Oh, y'all gotta go to Texas. That's a good little ride. When y'all have to go to places like that, how many days does Charlie get to you know, be able to get there and drop his load? 3 or 4 days? And how did that salad taste? Because I was like, I wasn't sure about it. There was a lot of stuff that they put in there. Oh, 4? And if he travels on a holiday, is that extra pay? Charlie was shaking up that salad like it was shake and bake. Do y'all remember when McDonald's sold that salad that you could shake up? Oh, okay. I don't know if I would have put the salmon in there. I could see the fake crab, yeah. I to love that shake 'em up salad from McDonald's. The good stuff they always stop selling. Like I love the Parmesan sandwich from Burger King. They quit selling that. I'm so old. I remember when McDonald's was still counting how many people they served. I said I might try it, Tashana, and see how good it is. Hi, Olivia. I am well. Everyone else in the chat, I assume, are okay too. Yes, a fresh salad. I love a good crisp cucumber. Oh, that is like the best. I like the English cucumbers, the long ones, because they're firmer. Yeah, I seen you in the jerk chicken. So I had a question for you. When you're at home and you make the jerk chicken, do you cook it in the oven? Girl, Charlie be eating good on the road. Oh, she be doing meal prep because her husband is a truck driver. So she preps all that food for them to go out on the road. Did you used to prep him and send Charlie off with food before you start riding with him? All right. You got church tomorrow. It's Saturday. Y'all doing something special? Yeah, she be throwing down in that truck. Charlie be eating good. Parker is well. He's asleep. Okay. And he'll probably be asleep tomorrow because he got to go get shots, which he's not going to like. Should be a fun day because he hates going. Well, good people. Yeah, I was looking at your seasonings. I'm going to have to go back and write down the names of what you were using. Oh, okay. I didn't know you were Seventh-day Adventist. Because I think I might try your jerk chicken. It looked good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I bought some and it was not good. I had never had jerk chicken until I went to Jamaica, and oh my gosh, I fell in love. But of course, you know, you're not going to get it as good as over there. But it would be nice to get something close, because what I bought the last time, it was not jerk chicken. I don't know what they call themselves doing. But it was not. Alright, good people. I'm going to call it a night. I've been on here probably 3 hours now. Alright, y'all. I've been on here 3 hours. That's way too long. So I am going to get off of here. I know that you figured mild. I didn't think you had mold jerk seasoning. So guys and gals, I'm going to call it a night. Thank everybody for coming in at the last minute with the live. And again, I apologize for the presentation, but I got bad weather out here, so I think that's what's messing with the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, Livia. Yeah, you got in here late. Good night, LB, Pam, Nick, Tashana, Harris, Nikki. And for those who are members, we will have our members live tomorrow at 7. Sandy and Chris still here? Oh, thank you, Sandy and Chris. Y'all so sweet. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. Love ya. Thank you, Tashana. Tell Charlie I said good night. And I will talk to the members tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Everybody be safe. Bye.